everyone. This is Sheila Butler with Successful Women Talk, and I am most excited today. We are here with Jackie Baptist. Jackie is the executive producer of a new project titled She Means Business, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the project and what's going on in her world. So, hi, Jackie.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you so much. Nice to see everyone. So my name is Jackie Baptist, and I'm executive producing a documentary on women. It's focused on women entrepreneurs, essentially, and we have been, we've basically been going throughout the country talking to people, both sponsors, advisors, as well as just women entrepreneurs, trying to figure out, how can we get the best stories possible, essentially. And this whole initiative kicked off in March, and today I think we're June 20th or something? So essentially, it's really been going like wildfire. If you take a look at our Twitter and really just the number of people reaching out to us, there's a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for doing something like this in the United States right now. I think women are what we are calling the quiet revolution, people who are really supporting 50% of the economy, the backbone of the United States economy, and people want to get their stories out.
I agree. It's funny because the reason I started this show, I have another business. I'm starting a second business on top of that. But the reason I started this show is because I read a lot of business books and I do some business consulting. And anytime that I'm going to Google something about a successful business person, it's always a man that pops up. Not that I'm opposed to that, but there are so many women out there that have such great successful stories, but we don't seem to ever find those or share them. So that was the whole premise of me starting this business, and through that I somehow stumbled upon either your Twitter or something, and I found you guys on Kickstarter, and I watched your little documentary, little preview of the trailer. It's amazing. I can't wait to see where you guys are going. So tell us, though, what is your background? How did you get involved with this type of a project?
So essentially, I actually started my career as an investment banker. I worked at the World Bank for about 8 years. Then I was in finance for the longest time. 2 years ago, I quit and started my own finance marketing consulting practice. And last year, I worked for Microsoft on a huge campaign that focused on talking to women and entrepreneurs around the US. So this was really about talking to them about remote working and how technology has really just emancipated women and allowed them to do so many things, multitask, start businesses as they run their families and their households. So we went from city to city, and the one thing that became really clear to us was that, the business models that exist today and the way traditional work is today, it's not necessarily how women choose to work or they would like to work. Because we are known as multitaskers. It's in our genes, right? Our DNA, that's what we do. And you can clearly tell that there are a lot of women who are mothers and they may be 7 months or 9 months pregnant, but they still run their businesses every day. They're entrepreneurs as well. So those are some of the findings that we found. The other thing is that women have disproportionately less access to capital. And one of the big findings is that through the recession, despite the fact that the capital markets collapsed, they held on to their businesses through a lot of scrimping, saving, just really running their businesses very efficiently. And we really find that there's this whole tribe of women out there who care about entrepreneurship, who are really good at it, and they still have certain disadvantages, but they're making it happen every day. So that's how I got involved with it.
I love that, and I totally agree. And again, just highlighting some of those women. I think women do play such different roles now. They want to be mothers, some of them, and some of them want to be business owners. And the truth of that is that you can do both. You don't have to work a 9-to-5 job, and you don't have to work in an office. You can work remotely. There's so many technologies available today that allow women and men, of course, but to work in a different atmosphere than what they used to. And I think it's nice that women are finally embracing that and taking control of that. And the documentary like this does nothing but highlight the positive of that.
Absolutely. And it's really to showcase that, we are as good as any man at running a business, right? In fact, let's face it, we run a household, we run a family, and we run businesses most of the time. It's the reality of what women do today. other people I really like to talk about are mom bloggers. Mom bloggers have built huge businesses around themselves in a really smart way. So, let's really stand up and take a look at these women and what they're doing every day just to enhance their lives and to build great businesses.
Absolutely. So how did you guys go about, I know you said you travel the country finding people, but how did you pick your stories? Because there's so many women out there. How'd you find them and how'd you pick them?
So we haven't picked our stories yet. We are still in the process of fundraising, and as soon as we finish in August, we will go around and we will look for stories. The criteria, our director, and we're inking a deal with a really well-known director, and one of her criteria is that she will look for the best stories that are camera worthy and TV worthy. So I will say that as an executive producer, I'll be honest, I really don't have creative direction. She owns creative direction, and we'll be doing that throughout the late summer into the fall.
Great. And that is Elizabeth Dell, correct?
No, so we have another director. I'm not going to name her right now just because we haven't a deal yet, but she's actually pretty noteworthy, I would say.
Very exciting. So, tell us about Kickstarter. So, you guys, what made you decide to do Kickstarter, and how's that going? How is the whole process, and how's that been perceived?
So I think Kickstarter, the reason why we did Kickstarter is really because we wanted to make sure that we understood that there's a grassroots of women that would not only want to be in the film, but would also support the film and fund the film, but later on would obviously become viewers, audiences, right, of the film. That was really key to us. A lot of our dollars will still come from sponsorships. We need about $800 to $1 million. And Kickstarter, at the max, we will raise $200,000. The majority of our dollars will come from sponsorships, and we're talking to 3 big brands that are pretty interested in sponsoring us right now. Kickstarter we're off to a start, I would say. It's not a fast start. I would love for it to pick up. So anything you guys can do to help us, we would sincerely appreciate it. But we're going every day. And the more we get out there and we get people to talk about us, the more we see the impact, both on the bottom line at Kickstarter, as well as on our Twitter feed, as well as just the number of emails that are coming to us, right? People have been reaching out to me to help left, right, and center since we started. It's amazing.
Well, I love that, and I actually participate on Kickstarter. When I read you sent me an email. I don't remember I think maybe that's how it happened. I found you sent me an email, and I was fascinated, and I contributed to it as well. I think it's such a great need. You take young women today, if you could show them, give them some mentors, show them the path, and show them that they can, I think it could have such a huge impact on our society. And I mean, it does to me every day.
Absolutely. And first, I would like to say, Sheila, thank you for putting your money where your mouth is, I would say. We really appreciate it, and we did see that, and it's really appreciated by the team. I would say that people who are coming out to support us and care about this topic, it's just, we're building a community of women that really care about this and would like to make change. In terms of becoming a role model, that is actually one of the biggest things that we would like to inspire. It's really to inspire the younger generation. So once the documentary is done, and very similar to other documentaries, there will be an educational kit, what is called an educational kit that, for universities, of course, there's a distribution and there's a charge attached to it. But certainly for high schools where there's no funding, this is something that we'll seek to make available to people so that kids can also take a look at these women role models, right? Young girls in schools, and they can be inspired by them. That's very important to us.
That's terrific. How can people I'm just starting, so I'm a pretty new, I'm not in business, been in business a long time, but just starting as far as this new project that I have going. But how can people like myself or other mom bloggers out there, or other business women like myself, how can we help, and how can we help you guys promote this project?
I think there are a couple of things that you can do. Obviously, the first thing is funding. So just tell everybody as much as possible. Get them excited about the topic as well, and make it your own, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're part of this. You're part of this movement. You're part of this tribe, and you're really part of this documentary. That's the first thing. In August, you will see on our website we will start to, audition people, and people have to send in like little videos of themselves so that we can take a look at things and see who we would like to film for the larger documentary. We will probably also have smaller pieces where we will highlight people and interesting stories. Please make sure you tell people about that as well. Our website is shemeansbusiness.org. You can go up there, just contact us. We're really glad to have you guys reach out to us. But that's the process. It's
Perfect.
really getting funded and then getting the right people. And getting the right people, it's really going to be you guys telling us like who's out there.
That's terrific. Yeah, and we'll link all this up as well. So I'll link your site and everything, Kickstarter thing, everything up for you. A lot of people think, wow, my story's not interesting enough, and it really is. Everyone is unique because of their story, And a lot of people go, well, I don't have a business background, or I don't have an MBA, and you don't have to have an MBA to start a business. You didn't have to come from a family that already had a business. I come from a mom with a sophomore education, a dad with a 7th grade education, first one to graduate from high school or college from my family. And I was a terrible student. I was a social butterfly. I had fun in school. I was a great daughter, terrible student. But you know what? I decided I want to do something different with my life, and I did.
Yeah.
And so can other women. And they can really make a difference and an impact in other women's lives as well.
I completely believe that. Business is about persistence. It's not just about IQ. It's a combination of IQ, EQ, but it's really your determination. If you want to go out and do something, look at us. We're doing this documentary. Now, honestly, I've never done a documentary in my life, but it's just like running any other business, and you'll figure it out. So I would just say go for it and do what you want to do. That's what I would tell women.
Absolutely. So what do you guys do in the process? You're just going to raise the money and wait and see what happens?
Well, we're gonna raise the money. We need a certain threshold where we can make a first draft. What's called a first draft. You can use that first draft to go and talk to networks or sponsors and things like that. And that's really the first stage that we will undertake. So regardless, I think we will be doing that in the summer, early summer to late fall. And I'm actually very confident that we will get what we need to get started. I don't think it's there are too many people who really care about this topic for it not to get started in a big, meaningful way.
I agree. That's exciting. How are you guys using social media to help with this project?
Social media has been crazy for us. We launched about May 1st, and I've had so many people. I think our followers are something like 12 or 15,000 right now. We've had so many people reach out. I use social media to engage people that we care about. I want to make sure that the right people know that we're out there, and that's very important to us. So we do tweet at, and we do engage with Forbes Women, the big key bloggers on Forbes Women, and that's probably how we found you, Sheila. It's also through organizations like the Women President Organization, WPO, 85 Broads, and just to also let everyone know, we are actually forming a broad coalition partnership with a lot of these key women organizations. This is not something I believe that is my journey or my journey alone. It's something that we are taking together with a lot of people. The latest folks that are coming on board are Springboard. I don't know if you guys have heard Springboard. Amy Millman, Kay Kolpovitz. They run probably the largest, most significant women VC type organization in the United States. And so, we had a conversation yesterday. So I would say that, all of us working together, and I use Twitter to engage their audiences and them as part of what we do. I'm extremely active, and I have a marketing background. So we have certainly seen the impact. And the one thing I will say to you guys is that I honestly did not like Twitter that much to begin with for my own personal use, because it takes a lot of time. But I am actually now very convinced that it's this amazing tool. I'm actually blown out of the water by how powerful it is, I have to say.
That is a very interesting point of view. So let me make sure. You said you really didn't like it and use it much for your own business before. Yeah. So how will you use it now? Because I think you've seen that it can truly have a big impact.
Yeah, it really helps you build and raise your persona. And I'm a big person in thinking about, what kind of a persona you want, how you go about enhancing your persona. So I would say that very slowly. Clearly, I'm using it for the documentary for all of us, and it's working very well. I will think about how I will extend that to myself as an individual, right? As the executive producer behind the scenes for this documentary. Definitely, I will be thinking about how I extend that.
Great. So let's switch gears just a second and talk about women entrepreneurs in general. If you had to, you've been a successful businesswoman yourself, so if you had to give someone out there just a tip on maybe there's someone that's thinking about starting a business, but they're a little bit afraid, what tip would you give them about just going out and trying it?
The first thing I would say is find a role model and find a sponsor. And when I say sponsor, I don't mean mentor, I mean a sponsor. There's a very big difference for me between a sponsor and a mentor. A sponsor is somebody who's your advocate. They will take you and help you. They will open doors for you. They will open their Rolodex out to you. Those are sponsors. So make sure you have some of those. It's very hard to build a business in a vacuum, in reality, because business is about people. It's about interacting with people and basically working with people. So you need to make sure that you understand how to build that base of people that support you and help you along the way. And make sure your boat is big enough and you have enough people in the boat. I would say it's really critical. And it's not an easy process. That's the reality. It's not an easy process. You do it. And the other thing I would say is, do something that you're so passionate about. Every day you get up and you want to start doing it all over again. And that is really it's the be all and end all of being an entrepreneur in my mind. And that's what makes me go every day. So
that's terrific. So as far as this film goes, when would you think that, if you guys get funded, how long would it take to see it actually in production and out there so that people can take a look at it?
So I think the film will be done in about 12 months it'll take about 12 months to produce, essentially. Because we'd like to find a really good character that we can follow for quite a while, right? A couple of months. Then there's post-production, there's all that kind of stuff. But along the way, I do believe that our plan is to make available these short vignettes that people can take a look at. So, it might not be, it obviously will not be on the main character of the larger documentary, because you never want that stuff to get out, right? But we will find a lot of people through auditioning that are interesting, I'm pretty sure. And I'm also encouraging whoever who's contributing on Kickstarter, if they would like to just essentially send us a blog. We'll put it up on our site. I'm more than happy to write stories about all these ladies and have their stories up there. But I think there's multiple ways that people will be able to see what we're doing and how it evolves along the way.
That's terrific. Yeah, I think that's great. Even if they're not the person that's on the big screen at the end, I still think sharing that story is important. Everyone has a story, and sharing that story, if it had an impact on one person's life, would be huge.
Yes, I do agree with that. And the last thing I would say is that for all those successful women entrepreneurs that are out there listening, the one thing I encourage you to be is to become a role model to someone, right? Step up. I think that's our role, really. We've done it. We've gone through certain things. It's our turn to give back and to help the younger generation and to inspire them. So that is certainly something I think people should think about.
I agree 100%. Excuse me. I think that, again, any little bit that you can do, even the same thing with this show that I'm doing, it's to get the word out there that there are successful women like yourself, women that you're going to highlight in your documentary or in the process of that documentary. They can come from small towns, big towns, small businesses, big businesses. We're out there, and sharing that story, I think, can make a huge impact on what we all do. And then the future of funding for female businesses, etc.
I agree. And, the one thing I would say is that I'm very supportive of ladies with the radio shows, because I actually listen to quite a few, and I actually think it's a great way to connect with other people and to hear people and to see what they're thinking, right? Especially, as we see more women launching radio blogs that are just very interesting and very insightful.
That's a great point. It's funny because I read a lot of business books and I listen to podcasts all the time. And there are very few that I have found women podcasts by women and focused on. There are a few, but there aren't as many. I mean, most of the people that even I listen to get that business advice from my podcast are men. And they have great advice, but wouldn't it be nice to have a female role model out there doing the same thing? So this is a call out, a shout out. Ladies, use your knowledge base and put a podcast out. Share your info.
Absolutely agree.
Which is kind of what I was doing with this show as well. Well, this has been terrific. So if someone wanted to hook up with you, where would be the best place?
Jackie B, JACKIEB at shemeansbusiness.org. Absolutely, just send me an email. I really am pretty quick on email, so I will respond quickly, and I will respond to all the emails, basically.
Perfect. Jackie, this has been a pleasure. I wish you guys the most success. I'll do anything I can on promoting it. I have some friends that are business owners and actually some very successful business owners. I'm going to push this out to them as well. So good luck with the project, and let us know if there's anything we can do on this end.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support, both on Kickstarter and on this show. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome, Jackie. Thank you, and have a great day.